I would like to take a moment before we get into today's main episode and to talk about my sponsor for the podcast. Podmatch is a new podcasting site dedicated to all podcasters. The platform helps hosts get connected with potential guests to appear on their show, as well as allow guests to find podcasts that will give them a chance to share their story. Podmatch offers many tools to help organize your page, from to-do lists to episode planning to potentially appearing on a leaderboard. Podmatch has it all. The best part, you have the potential to get paid. And who doesn't like to get paid from home? I like to. With an easy sign up, you can start connecting with podcasters and guests immediately. I have been a part of Podmatch since the beginning of May, and I have got to say that it was the best decision I've ever made because Podmatch helps your podcast grow. It helps you get connected with people that have very interesting, very compelling background stories that are just waiting for their story to be shared. So if you are a host or guest and would like to start building professional relationships, explore more opportunities, and have your story shared, I highly suggest that you sign up with Podmatch today by going to joinpodmatch.com/lethal venom to start expanding your network in seconds. I would like to give another huge thank you to Podmatch for sponsoring this episode. Now on to our main episode, and again, you can sign up at joinpodmatch.com/lethal venom to begin your podcasting journey today. Hello everyone, welcome to the Lethal Venom Podcast. This is a show where I talk about anything I want with the honest to God truth, no lies told. And in today's episode, I am joined by Mr. Justin Pencook. He is a very much a influencer in the finance world. Back in 2017, he actually happened to put $60 into crypto, which then actually skyrocketed him to be able to have over $2 million in his bank. And so he's going to tell us a little bit about his backstory, about how that all happened, and as well as talk a little bit about himself. So, Justin, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, Noah, thanks for having me. Or let me clarify. So I got into cryptocurrency in 2017, and the instance where I turned the $60 into a million, that actually happened more recently. That happened in October of 2024. So that's still pretty fresh. And I wanted to first jump on the show to introduce myself. My name is Justin. I got into crypto, like I said, back in 2017. I was just looking for financial freedom. I was like kind of fresh out of college, couple years out of college, figuring out what I wanted to do with my life, and stumbled across crypto. Bitcoin was like $17,000. I was like, there's something here, I gotta dig deeper. And me personally, like when I get in something, I get like really into it, like obsessive almost. So, long story short, I've been deeply researching and participating in the cryptocurrency market for the last going on 8 years now. And, I've learned a lot in that time. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've lost a bit of money, but I've actually made it all back. And it's quite an interesting story. And my goal was to come on here and share my personal journey, and hopefully your audience can take away some important insights on specifically building wealth and overall well-being. Um, for me, it was always my goal to get really rich off cryptocurrency or something, but it just seemed like crypto was the most likely to make it happen. I was always working in real estate, doing real estate sales, and working with investors, and I'm very much aware how real estate can generate wealth for people. Um, I'm also aware that that usually takes a lot of time and resources to make that happen, and it's also a lot of work. So I saw crypto compared to that. I saw it as like a much more accelerated path to financial freedom. And it took me 7 years. Like I was starting to get a little worried there. I'll be honest. Like I always believed in it. My conviction in it never wavered. But yeah, in October 2024 is when I put $60 into this coin. It was called Drop Coin. I'll never forget it. It was called Drop Coin, and the market cap of this coin was like $500. For perspective, this was a coin that is launched on the XRP ledger, which is a cryptocurrency. I won't get too deep into it, but that's where my crypto journey started in 2017. So it's no coincidence to me that my big windfall happened on the XRP blockchain. Um, it was just like a random Saturday night, and I had just quit my bartending job because I was so sick of it. I just wanted more out of life. I was getting frustrated with it. It's funny because if I didn't quit that job, I probably would have missed this opportunity. I probably would have been bartending instead of scouring Twitter and looking to buy meme coins, right? But I was in the right place at the right time and armed with the right knowledge. And I saw an opportunity and I was prepared and I bought this meme coin. It was called Drop Coin. I didn't really think much of it at the time. I mean, it started going up pretty much immediately. So, I mean, my 60 within a couple hours was like a few thousand. And any sane person would have sold, right? And but I didn't. Like I kept holding, and then the next day it was worth even more. It was worth like I forget, like 8,000, maybe whatever it was. And then I told my friend about it. I'm like, you have to check this out, man. Like this coin is kind of crazy. And it just started like skyrocketing. Like I didn't sell because I understood how early I was, and I had a decent idea of I knew what I had, right? I could see like a community forming around this coin and how the XRP ledger was just like really thirsty for like a mascot type of meme coin. And so Drop was the first coin on this platform called First Ledger that really fit that bill. And just the way that I purchased it, it was like during like a big sell off. These meme coins are like very volatile, and I just happened to like time it. It was I could never even explain it. It's like uh, God. That's all it was. God looking out for me, right? So I made three purchases all back to back to back, and I wound up with like 13% of the supply of this meme coin Drop, which is a lot. Um, so this thing starts skyrocketing, right? And it says I have like 1 million XRP, and that, at the time that was like $400,000, and I was like, wow, man, this is really getting crazy. And this whole time, this was going on over the course of like a couple weeks. It's probably like 14 days. Um, and I was just not sleeping. I was just like walking around, like walking around outside, like walking into tree branches, like staring at my phone, selling a little bit of this coin at a time, because that's how you have to play it. And just stacking up a lot of XRP, the asset that it trades against. And so I sold a bunch of it. I pretty much sold all of it for XRP, right? And like 3 days later, the asset XRP goes from like 50 cents. It starts like skyrocketing. It like doubles. It goes to like $1 in a couple days. Um, so all my meme coin proceeds that I previously traded for XRP are now doubling, right? That 400,000 is now 800,000 or whatever it at 900,000, right? And then it goes to $3, and now I'm at like 1.8 million, right? Then it goes to like $3.30. Now it's like 2.5 million, and this was all off of $60, you know? So this was like very exciting. Don't get me wrong, but it was like giving me anxiety. It was overwhelming me in many ways, that are really hard for me to describe. And I knew the power of this space, but just the way that everything went down, and I'm like, this doesn't even feel real, you know? And I told a couple people close to me, and still didn't feel real, right? I had to go on like a couple trips and like spend a little bit, right? Like buy a Gucci book bag or whatever. Um, but I'll be honest, I started struggling when this happened. Like it's not like what I expected at all. I thought that it would when I made a lot of money in crypto, I would just like magically be happy, and it would fix a lot of my problems. And that couldn't be further from the truth. In my case, and I think in many cases, it can actually magnify your problems, right? And amplify the work that you haven't done on yourself. Um, for example, if you have, anxiety before wealth and you don't address it, you're just going to be rich with anxiety, or you're going to be, lonely with anxiety, or have depression. It's not going to fix like depression or unhealed issues or traumas that you have from your past. Um, and I've learned this the hard way. I just like I got to a point where I felt angry, right? I was looking at this, right? This is like what everyone wants, right? This is, oh, they want $1 million, this and that. I'm looking at it, and I'm a single guy, right? So I'm alone at the time, and I'm just angry. I'm like, where like I became isolated in this wealth journey over 7 years, right? So this did come at a cost. And I look at my phone and I see the $2.5 million, and I'm just like, where are all my friends at? Where are the people that I love? You know what I mean? I feel like I felt empty. And I've told that to a lot of close friends of mine, and they're like, wow, that's really eye opening, for me, because, a lot of people, I've realized I'm very fortunate that that happened to me, right? Granted, I put myself in the position for it to happen, but I understand the economy that we're in today, and that a lot of people are struggling, financially, and the impacts that that can have, on people mentally. It gets really draining. But I started contacting, my friends and my family, and I went to Hawaii, and I started to feel better, and like, but I would still have like periods of like emptiness and loneliness. And don't get me wrong, I still do, but I've recognized more now than ever how important your mental health is, along with your physical health. Right? This is what real wealth is to me. It's not a monetary value or a number per se. Um, it's don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say money's not important, but it is certainly not the end all be all. I think for me, it is having a sense of inner peace and stillness, right? That everything is going to work out, right? And like I know for me, I tend to have periods of time where I worry about things, and I worry about the future, and I've worried for many years that my crypto windfall would never come. And looking back at it now, it was just wasted energy, right? You just have to trust the way that the universe is moving for you. Um, so I think my point is money is not inherently bad, right? But I think it's the lens at which we view it through is what makes a difference. It's like, what do you want the money for? Like is it to take trips and create memories with people you love, or is it to go to the mall every day and buy a bunch of material things and chase that feeling that is never going to be fulfilled. I mean, I kind of learned that the hard way a little bit. Started buying like really nice things, and it's fun for a little bit, but like I think so many things that I haven't even like worn yet, and like I said, it doesn't fix everything. Like I've kind of bought everything I could at this point, right? I bought a really nice apartment. I have an excellent view. I moved into a nice building with a rooftop pool. It's like living in a resort. Uh, but it still is not the end all be all to happiness. I'm still uh going to therapy, right? I'm still meditating. I'm still practicing mindfulness every day, because, and I'm still, working out and taking care of my body every single day because I realize now that everything has to work together. All the wealth in the world is nothing, without your grounding, right? And belief in yourself. And yeah. So what I would like to say to your audience is, just be mindful of how we're investing our time and our energy into things. At the end of the day, there's always going to be another dollar to chase. But I think it's important that we spend time with the people that we love, and we make memories with them, and that we cherish those. Uh, because there's no amount of money in the world that is going to replace that feeling over time. So yeah, I think the main takeaway is, figuring out who you are, um, as a person outside of money, right? Like the things that I enjoy doing on a day-to-day basis are things that I could have been doing. Things that I've always done, like go walk around the park, or like, play video games or work out or sit by the pool, maybe trips, like maybe the ability to travel. Like there are some luxuries that are nice, but they're really not necessary to have a fulfilled life. Um, and I see so many people that I know down on themselves, and just overall have low energy because they're investing so much time, um, into jobs and careers that are only giving them so much back, right? They're just giving them enough to scrape by. And I feel like we have a tendency to get stuck in that. So I believe it's important to step away, at times, and make it a point, um, for some self-care, right? And time with people that you love, especially if you're blessed enough to have them alive and in your life. Um, so for me, that's actually happened this year. That's like the one thing I prayed for. After all this happened for me, I'm like, I really want like my friends and my family. I want closer relationships with all these people. Um, and slowly but surely that is happening for me. So I'm grateful for that. Are there any specific questions you have for me, Noah, or anything you want me to talk about?
I think honestly, you said it all right there. I mean,
Yeah.
just so many things to say, like a couple of things. I think you're the one of the few people that actually tells kind of the real truth about having too what happens when you get too much money. Because a lot of these celebrities don't, and people that are huge in finance and stocks, they don't really say the downsides of it. They just tell the positive. Oh, well, I have all this money, all this stuff, life's great, when in actuality it's not. And I think for you being able to tell your side would help give people a little bit more of a heads up of what if they decide to go down this route, expect this. You know, and it's odd for this generation to have, because you said that when you started getting all this money coming in, that it's like your friends were just nowhere to be found. It was like kind of like you just were out on your own. And usually, and this is kind of how media portrays it, but it seems like people usually hang around people that have the most money. I always see on TV and shows if people are wealthy, they have a huge crowd around them. But then the second they run out, they're gone and they go on to someone else. So I think everything that you said, I 100% agree with. I mean, just well said,
Yeah,
honestly. It, I don't think a lot of people are going to understand. A question I would give to you is for people that want to do to do the same thing that you've done, they want to maybe put a little money in and just see what happens. What advice do you have for them?
I would say get in contact with me. I am, and this is not to plug my cryptocurrency business at all, but my main goal after building wealth with crypto and aside from my personal development journey is to help others succeed in this space because I believe everybody can succeed in this space. I think there's abundance for everybody. Crypto for me has always been very spiritual, um, and I'm very tuned in with this market, and these coins and these protocols and communities. I would say get in contact with me. We have a cryptocurrency consulting company that we are now launching, and you can actually book a call with me right on our website. Noah, I'll give you the links to share with the podcast, but it's called digitalwealthadvisors.io. You can go on there. You can book a 30-minute call with me. It's $100. I will sit there. We will go over your situation, what you're looking to do. Our focus is giving tailored advice. Every individual is different, right? Some people have a family they have to look after. Some people, age is a big factor. Some people have money in IRAs that they would love to put to work. We have partnerships and companies that we work with where we can facilitate those types of things. So that is what I would say. Just get on a call with me, or even one of my team members, and we eat, sleep, and breathe this. I already said I've never left this space, and honestly, I don't think that I ever will because I believe this is not only the next frontier of money and bigger than the internet itself, but I think it's very good for humanity, and it is the biggest shift in power back to the people I think that we will ever see potentially in our lifetime. I could sit here and talk about cryptocurrency all day. Uh, anybody that I'm close to will tell you, like I have to like tone it down some, but it's just starting to get exciting again. I don't know if you pay much attention on I don't know if you're on like X or anything like that, or sometimes even the news. You might see talks of it.
Uh, I don't watch. I used to watch news all the time, and now, ever since I came here, I didn't. I stopped watching news because it was starting to get a little too much, and I've
Yeah,
actually dialed back from it. But I'm on Twitter all the time. But I
yeah,
mostly just see like celeb news. I'll see some finance news here and there,
right.
unless it's trending and it's like this huge ordeal. I'll know about it. You know, to my listeners, my advice, if you do want to go into this, I would not put a large amount of money in. That's just me. Maybe start small, and then if you start noticing some more income coming in, maybe slowly increase it, but don't just automatically like put $100 in, because that could just be that could be either you'll have a very lucky experience or that will be a moment you'll regret. So I'd say start probably in the single digits, maybe $10. if you want to be risky. And then if it starts picking momentum up and start having luck in it, slowly go up from there. I wouldn't drastically go up.
That's fair. And listen, everyone's situation is different. Everyone has different amounts of, disposable income. I would say you definitely have to have a strategy, a risk management strategy. And one thing that I stress to people is it's called dollar cost averaging, which is kind of like you described a little bit, but essentially it's just buying a little bit over time, and those buys will compound, and they will appreciate. If you're in the right assets, and they will appreciate by a large amount, most likely. And the more you get involved with the space, you learn that you don't really have to sell them. They can generate income on their own, and some of them might even be tax-free assets in the future. Who knows? There's definitely been talks of that. So there are a number of things in the works where that are likely going to make certain cryptocurrencies the most logical investments for American people.
Well, I appreciate you so much for coming on and telling me your experience. Hopefully, because I have my demographics kind of all over the place, but I'm hoping for people, it's predominantly, well, it depends on the age group, but it's a fair mix between men and women. But for people that might be going into it, I think what you're giving you said was good advice for them to take, especially with how um I've lost train of thought, whatever the word is. When you invest, the invest department's kind of up and down with everything that's going on. So I think what
Yes.
you've done.
So that yeah, the dollar cost averaging, basically just create a plan. Say, look, I am going to buy crypto once a week, every week for the next year, and then see where I'm at. Right? Figure out what that amount is for you. Start learning, but don't feel like you have to do it all on your own. Like, I know how intimidating this space can be for new people. It's like, where do you even start? If you Google like cryptocurrency, you'll probably end up like buying Bitcoin or something, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think there's bigger opportunities in this space, and real opportunities to create generational wealth, and they won't these it won't exist forever. This window of time, this opportunity will not be here forever. Once certain things fall into place, on a macro global level, um, then I think we stand to see some serious appreciation on certain systemically important assets. And once it happens, it happens. It's not going to come back down. So um, I would urge people to get involved. I think it's risky. I think it's so important that it's risky not to be involved. This is my position. Um, I just always believed this, even before I generated wealth from this technology. I believed it even when it was destroying me, right? When I was losing. So I think there's a lesson in there. But anybody who is serious about getting involved, please get in touch with me. Like I said, our website is digitalwealthadvisors.io. Um, and our X account, I'll send you links for our X account. It's fairly new. We just got all our socials up. Our company is relatively new. We just got our socials up just in the last few days or so. But I'll make sure you have all the links for anybody who's interested in speaking with me. Um, I'll make sure they're able to get in contact.
And I'll make sure to put all the links he sends to me in the description so that it's all in one place. As he said, he'll do, if you go to his website and get in contact with him, he'll do a 30-minute sit down with you where he'll discuss um, your situation and give you some tips and ideas about what you can do. If you're really needing some help, I highly recommend you reach out to him because if you need to know someone, he's the guy. So I appreciate you so much for coming on here and telling um your story and giving some advice to my listeners, and hopefully some people will be in contact with you and hopefully get their foot on the right track.
Yeah, that would be great. Thanks so much for having me on. I really enjoyed it.
As always, you can also follow me on social media as well. Lethal Venom Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Noah's Podcast. You can listen to Lethal Venom wherever you get your podcast from. It's on all the major platforms: Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Pandora. Feel free to follow the podcast on any of those platforms so you'll get notified of when new episodes drop. Thank you to everyone for tuning in today. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Hope you have a great rest of your day and week. Be safe, and I'll catch you all in the next episode of Lethal Venom.